Hello, good evening, and welcome to the midweek fixed call-in show from the LFC Daytrippers. I'm Gav, and with me this week I have got Keith. Just the two of us tonight. We'll be in and out of here in an hour. We've promised ourselves that from the very start. Loads to talk about. If it wants to be football, it can be football. If it wants to be Liverpool, it can be Liverpool. If it wants to be random stuff, please make it be random stuff. We'll talk about the random stuff for 50 of the 60 minutes ahead. We will post a link in the chat in a couple of minutes, and anyone that wants to join in can join in. As we always say, if you're coming on, you come on, be respectful, blah, 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 blah. And if you're not, we just take you off. That's how it works. And if you are trying to call in and it's telling you that it's not connecting, it's just because you're waiting to go into a green room. So don't panic and think, oh, this isn't working. If you are trying to get in and you're trying to connect, we can see you there. It just takes us time to get to you. So it'll be all good like that. Eunice says, just the two of us, we can make it if we try.
You and I. Yeah, I love it.
Start
Why not?
off.
Let's have a sing-song tonight. Fuck the football. I don't want to talk about Liverpool. That's a fact. I don't want to talk about that shit last night.
I don't really want to either, but we're going to have to at some stage, right? But Dermot Canty says, let's talk about last night's cat attack.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see this?
I did, yeah, okay. I did.
Can I tell you how I seen it?
Yeah.
Okay. So I wasn't doing the podcast last night after the match. The three lads were doing it, and that was cool. The lads were doing it. I was off doing whatever bits around the house, and I came down, I sat down in the box, and I was playing with the lads and whatever. Looked up and said, oh, that show was just over. And Kev O'Sullivan joins the chat, you know, the group on the Xbox, and says, lads, I've seen the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life ever. And I was like, why? And he's like, just go to the podcast tonight and go to 43 minutes. I'm not saying anything else. So I swear to God, there was 6 of us in this chat, and we all stopped what we were doing, and we played this video for 43 minutes, and all in sync watched it. And when I say, Keith, like, there was fellas couldn't talk for about 10 minutes after, it was that funny. So anyone that hasn't seen it, go back and check. It was a brilliant show last night, by the way. Fair play to the lads after 5-2 defeat covering it. But
are we cancelling Matt? Is Matt cancelled now?
No. Matt's absolutely fine. Matt's absolutely fine. But basically what happens is Matt's sitting there. He has the cat on his lap while he's doing the podcast. That's cool. I think the dog comes into the room, sees the cat on his lap, gets jealous of the cat, attacks the cat. Okay. The cat goes to attack the dog who's on the floor, tries to jump off Matt's lap. Matt tries to get out of the way, puts his hand down to get the cat, and the cat just clamps onto his fucking onto his hand. So then Matt picks up the cat, right? Is screaming in pain, picks up the cat, knocks over his camera, falls off the chair, right? And sorry, my wife and daughter in the background here laughing. And literally, all you can see in the shot is him leaving the shot with the cat. And people are like, did he throw the cat? What happened to the cat? He didn't throw the cat. He actually put the cat down to try get his hand out of the cat's mouth. So he disappears.
Is he still alive?
He's grand, but he's formed massive holes in his hand from the cat. But in fairness to him, ever the professional, disappears, right? Cleans himself up, right? And comes back and says, and just carries on the podcast as if nothing has happened.
Yeah.
And then today he sent us a picture. But now he has a picture in the WhatsApp group, or the Telegram group of the cat just sitting on his lap tonight again. Not a fucking bother on the cat.
Little selfish little bastard, doesn't know the furore that he caused.
But my God, it was like, honestly, now to be fair, a lot of people have said to me, you have to clip that up and send it online, and I said I would only do it with Matt's permission. I think he's frozen there, so he might come back in a minute. So I have asked Matt, and he was like, well, yeah, if something like that happens on a podcast, why wouldn't you clip it up and put it on the internet? So I will clip it up tonight with some appropriate music and some graphics, and I will put it out across our social media either tonight or tomorrow morning. But it's one of the maddest things I have ever seen.
I don't know if you can put music on it, really, because the cat's a loud little fucker as well, isn't he? Like, it's like sounds like a fucking lion or something going for him.
Well, I was thinking maybe this is something we can get into. maybe what we could do is we could let the video play with a bit of music, and then it just lowers itself down when you hear the full scream from the cat. Okay? And then when Matt leans over to get the cat, and the cat bites him, Matt makes a massive scream. Okay? And then that's where the music should come in. So if anyone in the chat thinks what music should come in after that, let us know what the music should be, because an unbelievable moment in podcast history last night. It will go down as one of the greatest ever. Kev O'Sullivan's there saying it is the funniest thing I've ever seen on a pod ever. Like, lads that were with us last night, Veranda Cheese was with us last night, and he was just like, lads, you just have to see this. He was crying. But it was absolutely brilliant. Kev O'Sullivan, actually, Shawnee watched it and said, don't watch the cat, watch Kev O'Sullivan through it all, because his reaction is, and I think Kev's words while it was kicking off was, oh hello, when this is going off, like, so you can imagine Kev watching a massive brawl on the street, and Kev's just standing there having a smoke on. Jeez, it's all kicked off. The Thundercats music says Veranda Cheese. Chris Golden says South of Heaven by Slayer. But it has to be, Kev O'Sullivan says it has to be Jaws. If You Want Blood by AC/DC, says Chris Golden. The Benny Hill music. But like, it was just absolutely ridiculous what went on there last night. And we should have opened, we could have opened with, the result from last night, but it's absolutely brilliant. Mohammed says you've got to get a David Attenborough narration to the scene. Nothing else will work. You'd need someone that's good with voices, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Or David Attenborough might do it. Could we not get David Attenborough?
Is he on Twitter?
Is he a subscriber? If you're out there, David, hit us up. We've got a gig for you.
Sound of Silence says just for the Simon and Garfunkel. We have put the link into the chat if you want to call in. Feel free to call in. Ask us a question. We're trying to get through. We'll try to get through as many callers as we can tonight. So if you come on, ask the question, we'll try to answer it. We'll get you off. We'll get the next person on. So, but like I said, football or random stuff, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
So Keith, let's talk about last night. Liverpool go 2-0 up. Really good goal by Darwin Núñez. Excuse me. A mistake by Courtois, which leads to Salah tapping in, and you're kind of going, wow, this is really on. They get a good goal.
I think
it's a good goal.
It's a great goal. It's a great goal.
Yeah. You can point to Henderson. What's he doing going out there? But he's anticipating maybe going back to Benzema so he can cut it out, which is fine. Should Joe Gomez get a bit tighter? Maybe so. But if he goes too tight, does Vinicius, do him on the other side or get taken down, penalty, something along them lines? A lot of people have argued if he goes closer and it deflects out and goes in, fair enough, you've gone to try challenge. And then Alisson has a mind fuck. The ball's passed back to him. I've seen people saying, oh, Gomez lashed the back run, but he has two options to his left, or just boot it, and he doesn't. He tries to play it back to Gomez. It's too straight a ball he's trying to hit.
I don't think he's trying to play it to Gomez. I think if he plays it to Gomez, it's an easy ball, you know what I mean?
Yeah, Gomez, but I think he just gets caught in what he's trying to do.
But Gomez runs and makes the angle for him to just roll it to him, and he sort of smashes it. I think he's trying to bypass it and hit it to Trent or whatever, or whoever's out on wide right, sort of midfield. I think he's trying to whack it in, because when you see it from behind, he could literally have done a Cruyff turn and taken it to his left and just kept the ball, because
or just Vinicius clipped it to his left, because Van Dijk and Robertson are both there.
To do that. Vinicius bends his run and turns his back. It's not like Vinicius is chasing him down. That's the worst bit. Vinicius isn't on top of him. He turns around and starts arcing his run, and he literally just fires it into him. It's a howler. It's happened before, and you see Courtois was worse, but didn't let it affect. Well, Madrid didn't let it affect them, and they just got on with their game. It's the thing about them, Gav. They're even in poor form, they're a team that knows how to get things done. Do you know what I mean? On these games, they don't panic, and they don't sort of veer too far from the game plan. And
in fairness, like in the first half, like Liverpool were really good.
I thought they were excellent.
They can see that goal, fair enough, and that can happen against anyone in Europe. In the last 16, and especially a team of that quality. Like, they had got Rodrigo, Benzema, Vinicius Jr. So, you look at Modric, they had loads of threat. And you're kind of going, how are we two all here? But what kills me is, and Jono says we are shy, but fuck me, how many deflected goals have we conceded this season? We never get these deflected goals in our favour. That's fair as well. But it's the third goal that does it for me, Keith.
Yeah.
Because he's standing beside Trent Alexander-Arnold. He's on his hands on his knees, and he just literally makes the easiest run across goal. Ball's played. Modric is always going to pick him out. It's an easy ball for Modric. Gets the header on it. It's 3-2. And then Liverpool don't know what to be doing with themselves. Do we not hold what we have, but do we become a bit more, I don't know, like, do we, just the hesitancy came in, the attacking threat, I thought when Jota and Firmino come on, our attacking threat just went. And then like,
totally.
And then we're picked off, by it's a deflected one in off Gomez. Then he goes past Alisson, puts one in. But it was just one of those where we just didn't know what to be doing.
Yeah, Eunice hits the nail on the head. The 3-2 came too quick. Do you know what I mean? Like, they scored, a couple of minutes into the second half. And I agree, I thought Liverpool played well in the first half. I thought they were excellent in the first, up until the second Madrid goal, because they scored the first one. Vinicius gets the first, and he has a chance before that Alisson saves. But then he gets that goal. And then Liverpool got back into it even at 2-1, like, because Alaba goes off injured, doesn't he, after that, and Salah sort of giving him a bit of a roasting, and we're getting a bit of joy down that side of the pitch. But then when the second one goes in, what I found was Liverpool just lost. Yeah, not so much that Alisson lost his confidence after the mistake. I think the defence and the midfield, you could just see the fucking confidence draining out the rest of them, which wasn't ideal. Do you know what I mean? We're on the back of 2 good wins, and people can play down the Newcastle and Everton. They're big wins. They were good performances. They were 2 clean sheets, but it was a different kettle of fish last night. You're playing Real Madrid, and you get punished for these things, and you can't half-arse it. And I felt there was a little bit of half-arsing going on last night. Some players I thought were okay, but it's easy to lash Joe Gomez out, but I thought he was horrendous. I don't think Virgil was much better. I thought Fabinho and Henderson were terrible. I thought Pacetic is getting a lot of stick for the losing the ball on the second Madrid goal. But, I mean, we get the ball back and play. I don't blame him for that. He lost the ball. But the thing about Pacetic is he always tries to play forward, which is a positive. The front three started well, but then fell out of the game. It was just like the confidence was sapped out of us when that second Madrid goal went in. And then instead of we get in at 2-2 at half time, and instead of holding on to that for a while, we absolutely gave it to them straight away. And then, the subs happened. And I don't know if it was a planned substitution. Núñez has got a bit of a shoulder injury from the Newcastle game, and it's like, right, we'll give you an hour, but then you're coming off, because that didn't make any sense to me. Diogo Jota, I don't remember him being a player that comes back from injuries and is firing, do you know what I mean, on all cylinders straight away. So I found that taking Núñez off for him, because Núñez, the pace was always a threat, and he was actually doing a lot of good defensive work as well. And I thought when he went off, he just lost all. That was our only bit of the pressure reliever that we had was gone, and I think the arse fell out of us.
Yeah, because Brian Murphy says we stopped playing at 2-0. Defence went too deep and allowed their quality midfield to run as ragged individual errors playing their season too. Yeah, it is a bit like that. We have a caller. With that. We have a caller.
Oh.
Guess 2. Let me see. Ah, look who it is.
Make a caller.
No, it's a very good friend of mine. How are you, my man? He's not. Is he muted?
Am I muted?
No, you're not muted. This is my friend Colin. Let me tell you about Colin.
Do I have to turn off my telly for this to work, though, so that you don't
No, you don't have to turn off your telly. You won't get
you're not going to put a top on. You can.
Why did you call yourself Pig? Well, he lives in Brazil now, this lad.
That's all right.
He's originally from North Dublin. He's a very long time friend of mine, very, very close friend of mine. And he lives in Brazil now, and it's the first time I've seen him live in months. I don't know whether I'm liking it or regretting it, to be quite honest with you.
Do you know what I noticed? I says I was watching. I don't know. I must have been watching highlights of a match or something, and somehow this popped up, this page. So I said, "Fucking hell, this Gav. I've never watched Gav's shit before. I knew he'd done this."
Yeah.
And it popped up again when I went into YouTube this evening. It says, that's it. I could see 7 minutes running down that this was going to start. This is going to ring him.
Okay. So, what is your question?
What are we talking about?
Whatever you want.
Whatever you want.
Don't know. What's the weather like?
Over here? Well, you're in Brazil. And it's where he is beautiful. Like, honestly, he sent us pictures. And it's like he lives on the beach. It's amazing.
I got
So a bit of a background. His wife is Brazilian. His daughter was born here. He decided to go back to Brazil for a couple of years, and why not? Because why would you live here? But the weather over here is awful. I'm being honest with you. It's very in and out. It's very kind of all right one day, raining the next, cold. It's all sorts of stuff. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, Champions League. Who do you think wins it?
You look at Napoli. Telling you,
Dark horses, aren't they?
Dark horse. It could end up being a Napoli Real. I don't know what way it's.
Well, it's an open draw in the next round anyway. So
it could be a Napoli Real final.
Okay.
They're bound to meet each other.
They're flying, aren't they, Napoli? They won 2-0 last night, and they're flying.
They're ridiculous though. But if you watch them play, they're amazing. There's something different.
I love that fella on the left wing. I can't pronounce his name, but he's
I can
you pronounce it, Keith?
No, I'd have to read it.
Apparently, Real Madrid are massive into him.
City as well.
Yeah, he's like a throwback. This winger, like he has everything: the pace, power. He has the whole lot. Do you really fancy Napoli though? Because I think it's their best. I think it might be their best chance. Because I can see that squad being broken up when it's if they win.
This is the thing, yeah. Like somebody's gonna go, buying 5 or 6, or definitely 3 or 4 of their best players. Somebody with big money, but maybe I want Napoli to win it more than me head thinking that they're gonna win it. Don't know. I'd love to see them win it. Someone different. I think we're all a bit sick around.
And they're about 18 points clear in Serie A, so I think they have that nearly. Yeah,
they've gone 15 this weekend.
Yeah.
So
ridiculously strong, aren't they? Like, they've got players, and when you think of Napoli as well, they lost a lot of big players last year. They lost Koulibaly, they lost Insigne, that were stalwarts in the team. A lot more Dries Mertens. They lost, a lot, and they replaced them brilliantly. The South Korean fella at the back is brilliant for them. The Georgian fella on the wing, that they haven't missed a step and they've got better. And when you see a team like that, you really think they could be the dark horses. Because I was only looking at it, there's not that many. There's City, Bayern.
City controlled a lot of the game against Leipzig tonight. We're 1-0 up, and it was like, what are Leipzig at? But Leipzig actually got a draw out of it and something to kind of go to the Etihad with. But Sam in the comment says Real Madrid will win it, in my opinion. Otherwise, I think Napoli would need to beat Madrid over 2 legs rather than a final or someone else to knock Madrid out, because Madrid are just so good at managing games.
It's like anything. It's like anything. You look at the top leagues at the moment, and you're just sick of seeing the same team sometimes. And even with the Premier League, I love watching the Premier League. I've stopped watching it. I'm sick of City, and you want Arsenal to win it. I do. So you sort of hope. It's the same with the Champions League. You just don't want the same teams. You want something different. You want a bit of an underdog or a dark horse or something coming along and winning. That's what I think. That's what I want for football.
But what you want is an underdog or a dark horse that sort of have the minerals to go all the way, because you don't want to see, like, let's say, who's in there, Ben Porto, let's say, if they're still they're always in it. You don't want to see Porto get into a final with Madrid or anything, because
you just get pumped. Yeah,
it's absolutely pummeled, So Napoli do have a bit about them, and when they have like Osimhen, who's banging in goals, he's a threat, so they feel a bit like beat anyone on that day.
They feel a bit like Ajax 2018-19, where Ajax realistically should have went to that final against Liverpool, but the Spurs had that comeback on Ajax. But Ajax were brilliant throughout that. Like they knocked Real Madrid out that year, and they're brilliant. And kind of Napoli feel that way a little bit to me. It'll be interesting because they're flying in Serie A, so they could nearly take their foot off a pedal a little bit there and kind of go, we're playing European games, and they can afford 1 or 2 slips. But it'll be interesting when they do come up against, especially over 2 legs, in a quarter final or a semi final against the likes of a Madrid or a City or a Bayern Munich, something like that. But I'm with you. I'd love to see Napoli win it. For Andy Cheese in the chat says Napoli are playing with the ghost of Maradona. The trophy is theirs. All right, Bernie Stokes. But it's like, I don't know. But no, I think it's fairly unanimous by a lot of people that Napoli will be the shot. Yeah. Okay. Right. Are you gonna ring me during the week?
I'll send you a voice message or something on.
Okay. I look forward to it.
I could see the reaction in his face about 5 minutes ago that he seen me and he figured it out. You figured out it was me, and Keith was just chatting away and Gav was just going, I don't know what. But I'm gonna ring
It's
him.
great. It's great to see you. Call in next week, but listen, put some clothes on, will you?
Nah,
I've got
fuck it.
nothing on here. I've got nothing on here.
Yeah, but
That's the
don't do
way
that with
to
the
be.
camera, please. We get done for
Enjoy yourself.
copyright.
No,
Right, go on.
enjoy.
I have to
God
let
bless.
you go. See you
Bye bye.
later.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.
Take it easy.
Oh,
That
that's
was
my
nice,
mate
wasn't
Col.
it?
Yeah, that's me mate Healy. Absolute headbanger. But yeah, Napoli. I'm all over it.
Yeah, they're a good team.
I'm all
They
over it.
really are. Good team. And, you know, you look at them and they're a team that look like they as I said there, they've bought well when they've lost big players, and they look stronger now, which is when you see a team that's good, that lose a lot of stalwarts, like your, as I said, the Dries Mertens, the Koulibalys, Insignes, all fellas that were there for a long, long time, and they just replaced them with better, younger players, and it just pushes them on. And I like your comparison with Ajax, but I think they're even much more dangerous than Ajax.
I think they are, but what I'm saying is like Ajax were a different side to what they were. Ajax were
Yeah.
very
Possession based, fucking
yeah, but they were very solid, and I thought they were very, very clever in the way they played
Yeah.
football. You know, when they went away to the Bernabeu that time, I remember, and I think it might have been a second leg. I think it was a second leg, and they backed themselves to control the ball. They were very patient. Like, you know, at the likes of the Bernabeu, if you get over the halfway line on a bit of a break, you're thinking just thunder towards goal. They weren't. They were picking their passes. They were watching what they were doing, and they were brilliant. And their inexperience gets them against Spurs, not in a footballing sense. I just think their heads go, you know. And
yeah.
maybe Napoli have more experience overall in the squad they have right now with the players they've added in. I'm absolutely fine with that, but I'm absolutely intrigued to see how Napoli get. And they're probably the team I will watch, because Liverpool aren't going through. So
Never say never, Gav. Never say never.
no, we're not going to Bernabeu. Not with the form we're in, and
Yeah,
winning 3-0 and taking it to
we've
pens.
done more before. We've done it before.
We have Joe Fagan says Joe Fagan Treble says more golf videos, please, Gav. Yeah, we're going full time on our filming from next Monday, so we should have videos out every 3 days from Tuesday of next week, hopefully, once things go well. And we've loads of different games lined up, loads of different ways where we play against each other. We play as teams, the two of us, me and Neely. So Bang Average Golf on YouTube if you want to go and check them out. We've another caller. Here we go. Let me see. Guess
All going on tonight.
and let me see. Publish. And I believe this man's name is Josh. Josh, how are you?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good.
How's
How
it
are
going,
you?
Josh?
It's going well. I just wanted to call in. I watch you guys every video. Been doing so for
God love you.
I want to say 3 years. I don't know.
Oh, are you one of the guys that found us during COVID?
Yeah, I think. I mean, when I started listening to you guys, Grizz was still with you, so
Yeah. Yeah, I
it must
think
have been.
3 years ago was around when we started YouTube, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
So, anyways, I just wanted to call in and say I love the channel, love the
Good
content.
stuff. Good to hear.
Nice one. Appreciate it.
I'm in California, so it's hard to find
I'm
supporters
not
around
asking
here,
you what
so-
the weather's like. I
Yeah,
don't
what's the
depress
weather
myself.
like there?
It's actually cold today.
What's
Is it,
cold now?
T-shirts and shorts.
Yeah.
Job.
Okay, so and
I
don't give me Fahrenheit. In terms of Celsius, which is the proper way to measure temperature, what are we looking at?
I have no idea.
So what is it?
It's
What is it in Fahrenheit?
It's probably 55.
So what's that? Probably
No idea.
18, 19 degrees
Dublin is 4 degrees at the moment,
Celsius.
but it feels -3.
Keith, are you on your phone?
I would have to look it up.
Yeah.
All right, go onto your phone, Google Celsius to Fahrenheit, put Fahrenheit in at 55. I think that's about 19 degrees. And honest to God, 19 degrees Celsius in Dublin, and people stop walking.
No, 12 degrees.
12 degrees, is it?
degrees. 14 degrees, yeah. Summer's
14.
day.
Yeah, it's a summer's day in Ireland. Anyway, sorry, we digress. Josh, question, comment, what have you got for us?
Yeah, I mean, besides, bigging you guys up for what you do, I guess a question would be, I mean, I feel like we all kind of think Quavin's going to be leaving sooner rather than later. So, and I mean, obviously Allison, he's phenomenal, but we know just based on this last game, he's got stinkers in him. what do you think we're gonna do? Because Adrian, I mean, doesn't make me feel comfortable. Like, I know he's showed up in some big moments, like especially like penalty kicks and stuff. But what do you guys see happening with the goalkeeper situation? Because I feel like we need to sell him to get some money. I don't want to, but
Queeving, yeah, I think he wants to
go
go.
on. You go first, Keith.
Yeah, he wants to go, I think, to get game time. He's 24, I think. He's battling with Gavin Bazunu for the Irish goalkeeping slot, and I think there's a chance to get that if he plays regularly. And I can see him moving on. We spoke about him many a time before. I think Gav, you might have said you'd put a boy back in him or do something along them lines, because he's excellent, and he's the ideal keeper to have as a backup. But you can't keep these lads when they're that good as a backup. And my own thoughts on this is, I think the death knell was when Klopp sort of dropped him from the FA Cup. Even though we brought him back in, he said he was out, and I just don't see him coming back if he's not guaranteed even the cup game. So it's a hard one. I'd get rid of Adrian, obviously. I wouldn't be keeping him on. You know, he seems to be a great crack around the place. He seems to be a popular, positive fella among the squad, but you can't have him taking up a non-homegrown slot in the squad. So I'd look to just bring in an absolute bum of a goalkeeper that's English or is come up through the English youth systems and just tick a box. I think they have a lot of faith in Harvey Davis. I think he will be fast-tracked, and maybe Pitaluga as well. The young Brazilian lad come back from loan might be one that they look at, but I can't see them spending big on a goalkeeper. That'd be my take on it. I can't see them spending big, because I think Alisson, the beauty about Alisson, in my opinion, is when he drops a bollock like last night, he tends to just get over it quickly enough. You know, he doesn't crumble, and that's the thing. You know, I wouldn't be too worried about him. Long term, I'm delighted to have him there. So it's a hard one to sort, because any keeper coming in knows I'm the cup keeper. You know what I mean? So I think it's a hard one to deal with money or things like that. So I'd bring in, obviously, Jack Butland has gone to Manchester United, but that sort of type of character, you know what I mean? An English keeper in his 30s that can just go in there and help bring through the young lad, you know what I mean? Tom Boland says you can see Queeving going to Brentford and Ray at the Spurs. Yeah, not a bad shout. I could see Queeving. I think he's better than you already. So
well,
Spurs will be just
Brian O'Halloran is saying that no, not Brian O'Halloran. There's somebody else there. Sorry, it's just gone off my screen. The talk around Cork, of course, where he's from, is Kelleher to Spurs in the summer for £25 million. Look, Alisson's the best goalkeeper in the world. Right, simple as that. Right, we all make mistakes. He made one last night. Right, and you know, he's made one here and he's made one there. All keepers do it. Some of them are like trying to pass a ball out and you get intercepted. Some of them are, you should have saved that and you didn't. A bit like David De Gea does quite a bit, right? But David De Gea for years was considered, for me, easily in the top 3 goalkeepers in the world. But he always had those little flaws in him, right? You're never selling Alisson Becker. Once he wants to stay, he stays. And if Queeving Kelleher wants game time, that's absolutely fine, because I think he's good enough. I think he's good enough to be Liverpool's goalkeeper. He's just very unfortunate that the fact that the fellas in front of him is phenomenal. Like, if Queeving Kelleher was standing around Liverpool in 2014 and Simon Mignolet, or in 2017 or 18, and Loris Karius is banging around the place, Queeving Kelleher is Liverpool's number 1 goalkeeper, and we probably don't sign Alisson Becker. The issue I have, there's 2. First one, if you're selling Queeving Kelleher, you want a buyback on him across the whole entire contract that he signs for any other club.
Yeah.
All right. So if he signs for Spurs, which I think Spurs wouldn't want us on a buyback, but if we sell him for 25 million quid to anybody, we're going to say in the next 5 years we can buy him back for 40 to 45 million, and it goes up in increments across the 5 years, right? That's the first thing. The second thing is, if Alisson gets injured, you need to bring a goalkeeper into a team that suits what we try to do. You can't bring a Ben Foster in, and you can't bring in, well, Ben Foster's retired, but you know, that sort of goalkeeper, or the guy you just mentioned gone to Manchester United, because they're not footballing goalkeepers, right? The young lad that's being brought in, I've no problem with him coming in for as third choice for Adrian, but you need to get it right with your second goalkeeper. And I know that sounds a bit, you know, like, why you're worrying so much about it. But honest to God, right, the way the world has gone, if Alisson gets injured on the first day of next season and Queeving Kelleher is playing for Brighton okay? And we bring in a goalkeeper that just likes to kick the fucking thing, right? And we lose a game, there will be absolute meltdown across the planet amongst Liverpool fans that why did we let him go? Why did we sign this fella? He can't pass the ball. Yeah? So that's where you have to look as well. And goalkeepers play a massive part in how you play football nowadays. A massive part. Because
100%.
if they boot the ball, you have to have guys that are really good in the air, really good on second balls, and are willing to run a hell of a lot more than they usually would. So I can see Kelleher going. I honestly can. But I think the best you get out of it is he goes and you get a buyback across the whole contract that he signs with whatever club. That's what I would do. Josh, what would you do?
Yeah, I mean, I think we absolutely need to have a buyback. I would 100% start him every game if Alisson wasn't here. I think every time he's played for us, he's showed up. I mean, he's had some really big moments for being so young, but he just has confidence that Adrian, like when Adrian's in goal, I'm like, anything can happen. Like, yes, it could be like extremely positive, but it also could, really screw us over. So I think we have to have a buyback. I think like if Tottenham were to sign him, like they would finish top 4 just having him on the team alone. Like, I don't know if that's true, but he just is such a quality keeper. So like, I was just kind of thinking like, you guys mentioned some names like who you would bring in to be the second or the third string guy for a while there, like before like Nick Pope moved to Newcastle. I thought he would have been like a fantastic choice. I mean, maybe not like, maybe the budget wouldn't have worked, but
the problem
he's a
with
good
Pope,
shot stopper.
and I think that touches into what Gav said. Pope can't play the ball, and that's why he fucked up against us at the weekend, and it's a hard one, really is a hard one to do, because you see Nick Pope, and he's obviously been told at Newcastle, right, you have to come out and sweep, because he does it against us before he gets sent off, and he's been doing it all season. He's done it okay, in fairness to him, he's coming out, but he's very much a goal line keeper, and if you get a keeper in that's uncomfortable, because I think Adrian's uncomfortable at it, and you can really see the difference in how you play. So it's so hard. The German keepers are always good at that. And I see in the chat there, Jono was saying Ron Robert Zieler is getting mentioned because he's homegrown. He came up at Man United, I think he was in the United EU teams, so he classes homegrown. I think something like that might be a bit clever, but it'll be interesting to see. I mean, he'd be over 30 now, and he'd be experienced, but he would be comfortable with the ball at his feet. And I think that's what you have to look at. I think whoever it is has to be a ball playing goalkeeper, because it's counterproductive if you're just hoofing the ball. Do you know what I mean? You might like it. Yeah. It's just not going to work out with the players that we have there.
It's interesting as well, because Alisson signed a new long term deal, I think back in, I want to say 2021, maybe later than that. And Kevin Kelleher isn't going into Liverpool and saying I want to leave without knowing what's going on with Alisson. Yeah. I.e., like, is there any indication that's his last contract? Would he want to go? Because the one thing I will say about Alisson is, as much as he loves Liverpool, he feels a bit like of a homeboard to me. That's just the feel I get off him. And Alisson feels like the sort of fella that could turn around in 2 years, 3 years' time and say, you know what, I'm going back to Brazil. Football isn't everything to him, but is Kevin Kelleher going to wait another 2 or 3 years? I don't know. Unless he's told, you're definitely playing all the cup games and we're going to alternate goalkeepers during. But I don't think we're going to do that. So it's a difficult situation for Kevin Kelleher. It's a difficult situation for the club. But I think the club have been brilliant with Kevin Kelleher, because he never sent him on loan, and he literally let him be Alisson's apprentice since Alisson walked in the door in 2018. It's been a brilliant learning curve from a brilliant education, and he is good enough. And the thing as well is, he has an international goalkeeper beside him, Gavin Bazunu, that's brilliant as well. He's gone from Man City to Southampton this season, and Southampton are bottom of the league, but trust me, Bazunu was a top draw goalkeeper as well. So he's probably looking to not only kickstart his international career or his league career, or his club career, but his international career as well. So I think he will. I think he will go, but I think Liverpool should put some sort of insurance policy on it in some way, because they know how good he is. It's just circumstances has him leaving. It's not ability. It's definitely,
and that'll be dictated by the team he goes to, won't it? Because I think you touched on the Spurs be unlikely to sign him with a buyback, but maybe a smaller club, not a Champions League challenging club, might be the way to go with that. And they'd be just happy to get him. Like, I've seen Brighton getting mentioned. I don't know if Brighton. I think he's good enough to play for most teams in the Premier League, Queven Kelleher. That's the thing. I really do. I think Josh, you said it about he'd make Spurs top 4 team. I agree, because I think Hugo Lloris is a huge weak link for them, and I think he'd go in there and be much better. So it'd be interesting to see where his next move is.
But you need a sample size, because it's like Queven Kelleher to me looks cool, calm, good shot stopper, commands his box okay, brilliant on his feet, brilliant with his feet. But you need a sample size. At the end of the day, we're looking at Queven Kelleher based off about 15 Liverpool appearances.
That's true.
So, we've seen keepers before that you go, he's a brilliant prospect, and then he goes somewhere and you're kind of going, what's going on here? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it just does not happen for them. But I think for his sake, and I think it's fair on everyone's part, that if Queven Kelleher wants to leave Liverpool because he's up against the best goalkeeper in the world, you can't knock him. You just go, yeah, that's fine. Just try put something in place where, just put something in place where you have a chance to get him back if and when you ever need him. That's the way. Yeah. Josh, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
You are now ranked the second most attractive man on this channel to ever appear, behind Shawnee Lawson. You will never top Shawnee Lawson.
Shawnee Lawson?
That's fair.
Yeah, Shawnee's definitely the most beautiful
Where do
man.
we come in this league table?
Keith, let's discuss it over a point, man.
I'm getting a lot of heat about my moustache tonight, I think.
Yeah, are you going for an audition or something, or?
No, that's the way I'm rolling tonight, Gav, you know what I mean?
That comes across as very, I think you've become very lazy, Keith.
Do you think?
Yeah, because I reckon you're twirling that and you're saying to yourself, this is a pain in the arse, but I'm just going to leave it. I couldn't be arsed.
Yeah, well, I'm not shaving it. I've made that. I've done the Emma Kavanagh. I've done that before where I've tried to trim it down and just had to shave it off. So I'm leaving it. I don't usually let my moustache get long, but I'm going to go for that big old bleeding handlebar sort of thing, yeah.
Okay, I'm liking it. Why don't you do it in November when they all grow moustaches like this?
No, because you have to start it fresh. You have to shave on the 1st and grow it. I'd rather just build it up and jump in on the 1st of November and have a big bleeding Amos out of Emmerdale type thing and just bleed and go with that, you know what I mean? So, look, it is what it is.
Yeah. Paul Giovanni says you're looking like Cat Weasel.
Yeah, it's...
Yeah. Shawnee's son
don't talk about cats.
Yeah, well, Shawnee's son reckons that Josh looks like Johnny Depp. Now,
he's getting a lot of Johnny Depp. He's getting a lot of Johnny Depp heat in there as well.
Yeah. So there you go.
Well, I appreciate it.
No problem. If you want to call in next week, by all means do so, Josh. Really good question. We let you go and we try to get one more in before we finish, will you?
Yeah, of course. Thanks again for having me on, guys.
No problem at all, Josh.
It's an honor.
Take it easy.
And the honor was theirs, Johnny. Cheers. Now, the moustache. I think it suits you.
Thanks very much. Yeah, thanks very much. I'm afraid to just shave my beard off, so I'm afraid to literally just commit to a moustache because I think they're a bit trendy now. Moustaches, a curly moustache and a bald head. I'll be like, them circus weightlifters in the old days.
If you ever watch Paw Patrol,
there's
a guy in the Paw Patrol wears the kind of top hat.
The mayor.
Yeah, I think he's the mayor. Yeah. I think you'd look a bit like him.
Thanks. Yeah, that's the look I'm going for. The fat mayor with Paw Patrol.
Yeah, when you start growing this, you went, you know what I want to look like? The mayor out of Paw Patrol. All right, cool. If we get one more in, we'll get one more in the next 20 minutes. Gav, say nearly. Oh no, just saying. I'm getting this on the channel, right? On the Gold channel, where I keep saying Neely's name.
Yeah.
Like every time I'm talking, I'm going, Neely. Yeah, I know Neely. I don't know what it is. Do you know what I actually think it is? It's actually when I'm talking on these shows, you have to put out who you're speaking to.
Yeah.
So I'm talking to you now. I don't keep saying Keith.
Yeah.
But if there's someone else on, I'll have to say, and Keith, what do you think? So it's actually a thing in my mind from doing shows and recording where I always have to address the person I'm about to speak to when you're in it. But now I keep doing it with one-on-ones. So I'm not going to call his name anymore. I'm just going to ignore him on the next video.
Don't let them bleed and change your style, Gav. Don't let them bleed and get to you.
That's true as well, yeah. That's true as well. But who asked me that? Andy Coughlin. Andy Coughlin's doesn't like me anyway. He's always having a go at me. So he's just trying to wind me up. He's just trying to wind me up. Let me see. Dermot says, I think Pep is losing the plot, a bit cranky in his post-match interview tonight. Did he go through the whole game without making a sub?
Yeah, he did. Oh, well, he did up until about the 88th minute, the last I'd seen
So he
it.
leaves a couple of
He
boys
does this
behind and
all
then
the time.
doesn't make
Yeah.
a
He does this all the time. Like
Yeah.
he if they're not winning or they're not playing well, he doesn't make changes, which is a bit mental. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't know. You don't really pay attention to it if they win, whether he does that or it only gets highlighted when they lose or draw points. You know what I mean? But yeah.
Kev reckons he's full on getting his thin squad excuse in early. I think so as well. I think I seen some the other day saying he has the least depth in the top 6.
Yeah, my heart bleeds from, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. Anything? What music you listen to this week?
What music am I listening to this week? I was listening to a lot of what was I listening? Do you know who I'm listening to? I don't really like it. I'm listening to a lot of fucking the kids. I'm listening to a lot of Ed Sheeran. Getting into him a bit as well. I'm sad to say. Yeah, Lewis
around the Galway girl and all that.
Yeah, the Galway girls are always on. The 2 fucking kids love it. Because what they do, they have playlists on my Spotify account.
Yeah, that kills me as well.
They fucking ruin me playlist of the year. Yeah. And Ed Sheeran and Lewis Capaldi and Harry Styles. I do like Harry Styles now, I have to say. He's playing churning out the hits. But that's the stuff I have on. And, you know, I'm listening to it when the kids aren't there. So I'm blaming them. But the reality is, it's all on me. But I do like a bit of Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, there's nothing more because I have the you know, the duo kind of Spotify, so you can have 2 accounts and stuff like that. But for some reason, like I set it up where I had one, and the rest of them can share one. You know, like Alexa's and whatever else, right? And I don't know how it's gone on, but they all seem to have landed back on mine. Right? And like I go in, and if I see one more fucking thing about them 2 boards doing that podcast, what's their name? Yeah, woman. She was married to Brian McFarlane.
Vogue
Williams and the other one. Right?
Yeah.
Joanne my therapist ghosted me. Or, if I see one more fucking episode of that coming up on my Spotify, right, I'll bleed and lose the plot. And then that's for my wife. And then my daughter does be listening to all sorts of bleeding stuff. You see, I've tried to get my daughter into the Cranberries. Yeah. Right? So she's getting into the Cranberries.
Getting there, is she?
But so she has this thing where she goes, no, I don't really like that. But then an hour later, you'll hear it kind of going on the Alexa up in the bedroom and she's singing away, and you know, but she loves the 80s. But I'm trying to get her into the Cranberries. But
do you know what I'm loving at the moment? I'm a big fan of Nirvana and all, right? So I do love Nirvana, but I love looking for alternative sort of versions of the songs, you know. So there's a documentary in Nirvana about Kurt Cobain called Montage of Heck. It's brilliant. It's one of the best music documentaries out there. It's all video footage of him, you know, him and Courtney Love. It's fucking brilliant. But they do a version that Smells Like Teen Spirit, and it's like a slow down orchestra type thing, and it's fucking strung out on that at the moment. But I love anything, the Foo Fighters and the likes of that, when they have a slower version of Everlong, all these things. I love when you hear rock bands slowing things down. And for anyone that's into the slow down music game, listen to the slow down version of Jolene by Dolly Parton. One of the best tracks you'll ever hear. Quality.
Do you know what I heard the other day? And I'm gonna have to get their name up. Hold on, I'll get the name now for you. Brilliant voice, right? But it's not nothing I'd usually listen to. I'm gonna just go through it here because it's probably me recently played. Nancy Griffith.
Yeah, there you go.
I had 2 songs from her in the last week, and when I heard her voice, I recognised her from the first one. But I played them. Once in a Very Blue Moon and From a Distance. And you hear her singing, right? You hear her singing From a Distance. You're like, that's a fucking brilliant voice. And then when I heard this Once in a Very Blue Moon on the radio, and I said, that's your woman, Nancy Griffith. So when I went on,
that's my girl, Nancy.
But the thing is, to listen to her speak and then talk is mental. Just go and type into Spotify Once in a Very Blue Moon with Nancy Griffith and listen to her talking, and then think it's mental. Last caller, it's Bertie. Well, it says it's Bertie. Could be anyone. No, it is Bertie.
It is Bertie, yeah.
Okay, here we go. Bertie.
All right, Bertie.
How are you, lads?
What's the story?
I got my hat on this week again. It wasn't well last week.
Without it, did you? Didn't feel
do you know what you're reminding me of now on this show? I was only thinking about it.
What?
Do you remember years ago on one of the Dublin radio stations, you used to have a fella just come on every Friday morning. Just a normal fella, and he used to just chat randomly to him. Do you never remember that? Just a fella they used to have on every week. They used to have this fella on. I'll look it up for you, but that's what you're reminding me of. But anyway, how are you?
I'm all right. I wasn't well last week. That's why I wasn't on. So, wasn't great.
Are we allowed to ask what was wrong with you? Or?
Just in a heap. That's all.
No,
you didn't get a stye in my eye and the whole lot. And
a stye in your eye? Did you put a tea bag on it?
I did the whole works. Fucking only short bleeding. You know, putting all those fucking, you know, twinings and all that shit on it. Just fucking
the good stuff.
Yeah.
Normal
you have it at work, so use that.
Yeah.
What? You're just going into work to rob the tea bags to put on the stye in your eye?
Tea bags are free. We don't rob. No, they're free. Jesus.
Yeah.
So hold on. Did you wake up in the gaff? Did you wake up in the gaff, right? And say, if it's staying me, I'm not using my own tea bags. Do you know what? I'll actually go into work to tell them I'm not well, and I'll grab a few tea bags on my way out.
Yeah, I liberated a few tea bags already. Yeah.
That's it. It has to be done there.
And come here, when you say in a heap, was it gargle related or?
No, it's just fucking caught up. So everything. I was away 2 weeks ago, and just stuff catches up. Life catches up. So just fucking bollocks, you know. I think my body just shut down and said, you're fucked now, Al. So, you know.
It's a young man's game, Bertie. It's a young man's game. And none of us are young men anymore.
Yeah, no, I'm an old man. That's, you know. I feel very intimidated coming on after Josh. Like, he's a very handsome man.
I know.
And, like,
Keith nearly had a shave.
Wow.
Like Jordan while he was on. Like,
when going to put a bit of the
it's hard to follow that.
Shave on.
Just before you go on, Madge Apple says Jeff Buckley's version of the Smiths, I know it's over. Keith's definitely going to check that out.
The Smiths are fucking amazing, I have to say. Morrissey gets an awful lot of shit for being a bit of a sap. And Morrissey's solo stuff is brilliant as well. So yeah, big Smiths fan. I love it, Madge. Good show. Jeff Buckley is great as well. But we'll be
right. 10 minutes to go. Bertie, what's the question, comment, observation? What have you got?
Well, first of all, Joe Gomez is shy, so he can fuck off, right?
Nice.
That's all I'm going to talk about football, because I just get depressed. I was very angry last night, so I'm just not going to get into it. No, I'm going to get into some music. So, like what Keith was saying about the Smiths there and stuff like that, I'll be more the Cure myself, you know?
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I like the Cure. Smith. Yeah, Stone Roses, obviously. Yeah, Blur, all them, you know?
Yeah.
So, no, just wanted to give a quick ring, just I'm sure Shawnee was. Well, yeah, just a chat. I think Shawnee was worried that I wasn't here last week, and he was going, Bertie's all right, you know.
And now he's not here.
I'm listening to you going on about the Stone Roses and the Cure and all. They kind of bypassed me.
Stone Roses?
Yeah.
The Cure?
Yeah, you're probably more Radiohead. Yeah.
No, I'm not.
You're probably more your area.
I'm not. Do you know something?
Rick Astley.
When I was brought up, I'll be honest with you. When I was brought up, right? When I was brought up, my ma listened to loads of country and western.
I love the old country.
No, I mean, like, you know the little tape deck.
Yeah.
On top of the fridge, fucking Blanket on the Ground.
Blanket on the Ground. What a
stuff,
song!
right?
Yeah.
Jolene, all this sort of stuff, right? So loads of different varying things, right? My dad
I have a great country Spotify playlist. Get on and have a look. Blanket on the Ground, Jolene, they're all on there.
Right, I might give her a bash tomorrow.
That's some quality stuff there you're talking.
Well, that's what she was into. That she loved Joe Dolan. She adored Joe Dolan, right? And then my dad was into a man called Harry Chapin, right? Okay. Who wrote Cats in the Cradle, right? And I still listen to all his stuff now. And then I was kind of brought up on that. And then Oasis hit me in the early 90s. Right. And I went from there. So
you skipped all the stuff before Oasis.
Yeah, I was kind of brainwashed with music up until I was probably 12. And then it was Oasis and everything else come in. But I should go and listen to more of these bands. So I tell
Stone Roses only have 2 albums, you know, so they don't have a huge back catalogue. So get on and give them a listen. They're brilliant. I love the Stone Roses, and I love the Ian Brown solo stuff is quality as well. And I love
went to see him 3 times.
Fella can't sing for sure.
Ian Brown 3 times. Well,
Jared Cahill says he gets hay fever from country music. But so if you were to give me two bands, Keith, and then I'll let Bertie answer. If you were to give me the two bands that I probably didn't listen to in the mid 80s, late 80s, that I should go and listen to, what would it be, Keith?
The Smiths. Did you listen to the Smiths? Did you say?
No.
Get the Smiths, and as Madge said, she said Jeff Buckley done a cover of I Know It's Over. That is a brilliant song by the Smiths. Get on and listen to the Smiths. Smiths are brilliant. As Bertie says, The Cure are a very underrated band. They've got loads of great hits. Their quality. Who else is there? Sort of in that indie music. The Happy Mondays are alright as well, but they're a bit more chilled out, a bit more trippier maybe than the Stone Roses. But
I like Ocean Colour Scene as well.
Ocean Colour Scene were good, yeah.
Yeah, I like
They were
them.
the mid-90s, but
hate them.
you're not a fan.
Can't stand them. Jesus, no.
Right, so
used to like
what am I
them.
going with here? The Smiths and what?
Go with the Smiths and the Cure.
Smiths and the Cure. Bertie, what am I listening to?
Pixies, if you can.
Pixies, yeah.
Get some Pixies into you.
Yeah.
Right.
Pixies are excellent.
Yeah.
Also, could try a bit out there. Try some Smashing Pumpkins. Like
love
everybody would say
Smashing Pumpkins.
Nirvana or stuff like that, but
Love
try
the
some
Smashing
Smashing Pumpkins. That's good stuff.
So we've got
No.
the Smiths, the Cure, the Pixies, and the Smashing Pumpkins.
And Nirvana. Throw in Nirvana as well.
Okay.
Fucking Nirvana.
And if you want to go down the pop route, you have to go for Erasure. You have to, because
yes.
they're
Quality.
brilliant.
I've asked
And
for
the
four.
Pet Shop
Brilliant.
Boys as well. Pet Shop Boys are quality as well.
Yeah. That's
hell, lads.
probably man's favourite group. Pet Shop Boys. So.
I love the 80s sort of the electro, the mid 80s electro stuff. It's all quality. The early 80s, Gary Newman and the Human League and all. Get into all that. Gav, I have a great playlist for you on Spotify. I'll hook you up with all that as well.
How many is that? Two or
But even
I've loads of
even
playlists.
early Spandau Ballet, early Spandau Ballet is quality.
right? So
Duran
hook
Duran.
me up
Deadly.
with the stuff with all them in it, Keith. Do me up a playlist with all them in it and just send it to me,
Yeah.
just only them, because you like doing them playlists, don't you?
I do, yeah. I'm
And you've
always
loads of
messing
time
about
because you're
with
just
playlists.
sitting around now twisting your
Twiddling me
moustache and listening to
moustache,
Ed
yeah.
fucking Sheeran. So you've loads of time.
I need to get off Ed Sheeran.
You do. You need to get
off
away from
that
him
bleeding
very, very,
thing.
very quickly.
Because I'm in the car, right?
Oh, God,
I'll be
no.
going training. The kids have it on me bleeding Spotify. They've taken it over, and I'll be in the car. And next thing he'd be on, like, is that Ed? And Zach would be like, yeah, that's Ed. And I'm like, why the fuck am I calling him Ed? Can't stand this fella.
What, you're going on
Get
as if
him
you
off.
know him like on first
I'm
name
going on
terms.
like as if I'm
Owen
bleeding
Bork
past
reckons. Owen Bork reckons Gav will like the Smiths as much as he likes Indian Field. I've only had Indian Field once. Was that alright?
Oh, Indian Field is amazing.
Yeah, Gav's
No, I
the
like-
only person in the world that doesn't
I like
Indian food.
Chinese Field over Indian Field.
Oh,
Must be
once you
all
have
that
Indian,
MSG.
I know everybody says it. Once you have Indian, you won't even go near Chinese. It's just forget
Well, I
about it.
have had Indian and I've
Trust
gone
me.
back to Chinese.
Oh no, you're off your head. But
Right,
like, it's gorgeous.
Well, I didn't say it wasn't nice. I just prefer Chinese. Veranda Cheese, last question of the night before we go. He says, here, lads, can any of you tell me what the hell Meatloaf is on about when he says he'd do anything for love, but he won't do that? What is that?
It's a good question. I love Meatloaf. It's my karaoke jam.
Yeah, Meatloaf is...
Not that one. I've sang that one. I'd do anything for love, but 2 out
Are
of
you a
3
bit
ain't
of a
bad.
Paradise
That's
by
me.
the Dashboard Light?
Oh, I sang Paradise by the Dashboard Light one time in America on a
2 out of 3
karaoke,
ain't
yeah.
bad is a great karaoke one.
Yeah, that's me song. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. I done Paradise by the Dashboard Light, but you need a good woman singer, and some didn't even know the girl that sang it with me. She was an English girl that done Am Dram. She was a bit heavy now, not like a bit much, you know what I mean? A bit bleeding heavy on the sort of the amateur dramatic stuff, but yeah, smashed it out of the park. And I'm not even a great singer, but I love Meatloaf. You do anything for love, but you won't do that. I don't know, what could that be? What would you not do for love? What would that be for you?
I don't know. I don't know what it is. Like, maybe that's the whole point of the song. Nobody knows what it is. You choose what that is. Maybe that it is. Is that what it is, Bertie?
That's it.
Yeah, it must be.
Yeah.
I don't really like the song, but I know what he's saying.
I don't really like the song, but fair play to him.
No,
Good
look,
question.
if you're going karaoke song, my karaoke song is, I guess that's what you call it, The Blues by Elton John.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, yeah.
I always sing that.
Yeah, I like it.
Whether you like it or not.
But you know what I hate?
Oh,
I
yeah.
hate when I'm on a
you see,
karaoke.
I love a karaoke at Christmas so you can play Step Into Music or Step Into Christmas
Step
by
Into Christmas,
Elton
yeah,
John.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
because it's the best Christmas song ever.
They're all great. The Christmas songs are bleeding. We should do a Christmas song show.
But someone needs to bring out a proper Christmas song. Like, there's been none.
There's been a few.
There hasn't been any good Christmas songs in about 25 years.
Done a great
That's a good one, yeah. Leona Lewis is alright.
Is one of the sensations of the last.
It wasn't
20
even
years.
her song, I'd say.
It was her song. It wasn't a cover.
Well, I'd say
One
it was
More
a cover.
Sleep by Leona Lewis. Get on and have a listen
One
to
More
it.
Sleep.
Yeah. Great
Like,
song.
Like, when did the last decent Christmas song come out?
Ooh. No.
The last one I
Dark
remember
is
being
a
in
good
the
one.
charts. Honestly, the last one I remember being in the charts was probably Mistletoe and Wine by our man. What's his name?
Oh, mine was about 30 years ago.
Cliff
That's what I'm
Richard.
saying. There's been none since. Name the
loads.
top Christmas songs. Name the top
Ever?
Christmas song. Name the top Christmas songs.
Do they know it's Christmas?
Well, last Christmas we won.
Last
Right.
Christmas. Fairy Tale in New
Mid-80s.
York.
The one McGowan has, Fairy Tale in New York.
Fairy Tale in New York.
Mid-80s.
87, yeah.
Right? Okay.
The Christmas songs were top notch. When you go back to the 70s,
But this is what I'm saying to you. I don't think one has come out in the 24th century.
They have.
No, Keith. I'll tell you why. Because if you get name your top 10 Christmas songs that you and find anyone with their top 10 Christmas songs, and I'm telling you, not one of them was made after 1990.
But that doesn't mean there's not good ones.
The Darkness had one. The Darkness had a good one.
Not after 1990.
Don't let the bells
Carey
end.
was the most popular one of the whole
No,
lot.
The Darkness, that was alright.
Yeah.
No.
Christmas time.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. But that was
That was
just.
alright.
It was all right, but it's not near the top 10 of Christmas. There hasn't been a good Christmas song made in the 24th century. And quite honestly, we should, as a race, be fucking disgusted with ourselves, ashamed of ourselves for that. That's just
I
where I
don't
am.
know. I think there's a few. I think you're underselling it, and you're saying name 10, and that's like saying name me 10 footballers, the best footballers of all time, and a Liverpool player won't be in it. But that doesn't mean they're not great. Do you know what I mean?
But what I'm saying
Christmas
to you
songs
is
were
that
more
great
popular.
footballers come along all the time, right? They mightn't be the top end, but they're great, right? You know what I mean? Like, if you look in the last 30 years, some of the greatest footballers have ever appeared in the last 30 years. And the 30 years before that, you had Maradona, you had Pele, you had Cruyff, right? But Christmas songs, there's fuck all. You have to go back
Emmett's
before
after
1990.
nailing it there. He's at that battering you there. I love it. Well done, Emmett. Ed Sheeran, Airboy, and Elton John had a duet
it.
last year. There you
Stop
go.
it. Stop
Great
it.
song.
I enjoyed
Great
that.
song.
Yeah, that was a good
Yeah,
one.
that was a good one.
That was good.
Rory Fitzgerald, right? Here, right? Gav's right. Bob the Builder topped the Christmas 2000, right? And before that, you had Mr. Blobby, who was on the fucking show. What's his name? Noel Edmonds, right? He topped it one year, and I think he might be E17 or something to number one, Mr. Blobby. So that's what you're up against.
Yeah,
So,
but you see, the Christmas number one died of death when Simon Cowell monopolised it. Now, I know that's where we got Leona Lewis from, but when X Factor was coming out and setting it up that they were having the Christmas number ones every year, that killed it. That put the death knell in it. And that's why Rage Against the Machine had to come out.
James Doherty says, Wizard, wish it could be Christmas every day. 70s, right?
Yeah, that
All
was
right.
the golden era.
And Red Steve says, he's a prick. He says, I think Gav has about 4 records, for fuck's sake, and a cassette single. No, I'm just saying, like,
If it's not
just,
on the best of country 78, you don't
yeah,
want
like,
to know about it.
like, all I'm saying is, there hasn't been a good Christmas song in nigh on 30 years, in my opinion.
Mariah Carey's the most popular Christmas song of all
Mariah
time.
Carey, okay, I'll give you that, 1994-ish. I'll give you that, right?
Yeah.
But it's actually the most annoying Christmas song of all
It's a
time.
great song.
Because
She
you know
played
why?
at some point
They play it
on
more than any other song, apart from maybe Fairy Tale in New York. But Fairy Tale in New York is played because it's a classic. Mariah Carey is playing it.
You're missing
Try
out,
stand
Shaky
up
Stevens
and
there.
try big
Shaky
up.
was great, yeah.
Try big
Pretty
up
shaky.
the 90s onwards. So there you go. Anyway,
I think, the Christmas number one thing, I think people of a certain generation or a certain age don't look at it. Emmett's saying that Lad Baby sing about sausage rolls every year, and they've had something like 5 Christmas number ones in a row, and it's all charity stuff, so fair play to them. But in the olden days, the Christmas number one was the fucking shit, you know what I mean? That was the one everybody, Elvis and all had Christmas songs, you know what I mean? There was everyone, John Lennon, do you know what I mean?
but
Like, everyone,
nowadays it's gone to the dogs. It needs to be reformed.
It is. Leona Lewis, I'm telling you, she's the one that's ready to bring this back. It's our popularity might not be as it was about 15 years ago, but Leona is the person to drag this into the 24th century.
Well, it's been announced just in the last little while that the football regulator has been confirmed for English football by the government. So maybe the next step is some sort of push
Christmas
on
number one regulator.
proper decent Christmas number ones. That's what I think.
I think aiming for the Christmas number one is putting too much pressure on it. I think good Christmas songs, and then whatever will be, because like I said, these lad baby merchants seem to have a song up by going down the charity route. So we can't ignore them if they don't get to number one. I think we just need a good Jason McDonald, Kelly Clarkson underneath the tree there. Kelly Clarkson, another great singer. And she's a country singer. There you go, guys.
Claire Dean says, I would rather watch last night's game 20 times than listen to Mariah Carey.
Yeah, listen to Mariah Carey singing.
Don't slag Mariah Carey. Mariah Carey's great. She might sound like a cat. She was the pumping last night, but she's great.
Yeah. No, Mariah Carey might get stick for All I Want for Christmas Is You. Listen to our version of Oh Holy Night and then come back to the Game Over.
Cover.
Best Christmas song. Yeah, it's a cover of a bleeding hymn or a
but
Christmas
that's what I'm saying.
Christmas Carol.
They're not even making the effort anymore. They're just covering other people's songs. You know what I mean? Like Band-Aid comes out in 85. And what did he do?
Yeah.
They just copied it another 4 times in the next 25 years. Just make your own one. And
Didn't they make a bollocks of
These
that
are all
these
are massive. So that means there was 4 covers that I think made. So that was 4 massive groups of artists, and they couldn't come up with a bleeding song between them all. They just went, we just sing that one from 85, it's grand. And they absolutely annihilated the thing, God loved them.
Yeah, they
to the point where you don't really listen to that one anymore.
That's a great song. That's it. When you're in the pub at Christmas and it comes on and everyone starts singing it, that's the one. That's the bleeding, the party stomper. And everyone sings a little bit and everyone wants to time it so they get the Bono piece and all in it. Great song.
Anyway,
they'll have it on 7-inch single in my dad's. So.
There you go.
Well, listen,
collector's item.
Listen, this started off about cats attacking people on our podcast. It went on to Liverpool. It went on to Goalkeepers. It ended up with music and Christmas number ones. But that's what the call-in show is about. We don't make any bones about it. It can be about anything from the hours of 10 to 11 or just after 11 on a Wednesday night. Keith's sitting there with the big moustache drinking milk. Bertie's dropping tea bags out of his job because he's a sty in his eye. Johnny Depp was on earlier. He looked amazing. We just had loads of stuff going on. Me mate from Brazil rang in, which was deadly as well. Great to see him.
Didn't even put a top on him.
No, doesn't want. Why should he? He's too warm. It's too warm over there. Yeah. So that's how it went. But listen, from me, from Keith, from Bertie, because he stayed on till the end. That has been the midweek fix call in. Tomorrow night, we should have a viewer's voice. We're trying to sort something out. We may or may not have one. Friday is the Premier League
Matt's
forecast.
Going for the tetanus, isn't he?
Saturday will be full time Red. Sunday will be the Fatback 4, and we get back into the next week then as well. Check out Bang Average Golf as well. Me and Neely on there. It's going well with the subscribers, it's going well with the views, but honestly, we're filming from next Monday. We're going to try to do a full time. We're going to try give you 3 to 4 videos a week, hopefully. So like this video, subscribe, but on your way out, just type in Bang Average Golf into your YouTube search. You'll see it coming up. You'll see me and Neely. Hit subscribe because we've loads of stuff coming where it's going to get very heated between us, and then probably more when we're teammates rather than when we're against each other, to be quite honest with you. The link is in the description for our charity. Don't forget that. It's in there. Donate if you can. If you want to do a super chat, all super chats go to the charity. But if you can, go in there, donate, copy, share, send around work, friends, family, whatever it might be. And of course, thanks to bookmakers.com for sponsoring this show. At bookmakers.com, you can get all the best odds on your football, whatever sport you want, across bookies and sports books. If you don't like that, if you do it responsibly. But if you don't, of course, you can check out stats, comparisons, and loads of articles and everything on that website. So there you go. Emma Kavanagh says tomorrow is hosted by Jeremy Coyle. Guests are Matt and his cat. There you go, with the dog sitting over, and you know the way the cat and Matt in one chair, and just over the other side of the thing, right, with the dog is the dog. But it shouldn't be Jeremy Coyle. It should be what's your man that had the show in America? Jerry Springer with Big Steve. Wasn't it Big Steve that stood in between them? That's what I want to see. That is what I want to see. Anyway, that's it. Talk to you in a bit. Over and out.